Welcome to Ground Control. I've got my micro Skyhunter out again. I'm going to be putting just my third flight on it with a 4S Lipo, and it is an absolute rocket ship on a 4S Lipo. I'm using the Tattu 4S 1050 milliamp hour 95C Lipo, and the end of my battery is right here. So I've got to push back pretty far in order to get the same CG that I had before. I also wanted to let you guys know that after putting 2 flights on it with a 4S Lipo, I have not had to change anything on my setup. I have the exact same dual rate, the exact same expo, the same CG, and the same amount of control surface movement. So I have not changed any of that. And even though it's flying a lot faster with the 4S than it was with the 3S, the same setup that I was using on a 3S feels absolutely fine on a 4S. No problem whatsoever. And I had forgotten, but I wanted to show you the type of ESC that I have in it, and it is a Racerstar RS30. Let me get my Pablo glasses on. An RS30 amp, and it's a RS30 amp light ESC. It's rated for 2S to 4S, 30 amp ESC. It's OPTO ESC, so what I did was I attached a switching voltage regulator that supplies 5 volt, 1 amp power. The 1 amp of power works really well for these 3 5-gram servos. I haven't had a single problem with it. I've got an XT30 connected to it. This is exactly like the one I have in here. 2mm bullets. 2mm bullets are rated up for up to 30 amps. So that's how I've got it connected to the motor. And I do have an XT30 connected to it, and I'm using an XT60 to XT30 adapter that I fabricated for it, because I was just too lazy to pull off the XT30 and put an XT60 connector on it. But that works out very, very well. I wanted to show you how compact this is and also how light it is. It only weighs 13.5 grams and is a 30 amp OPTO ESC that's been converted to non-OPTO with that 5 volt 1 amp switching voltage regulator. It's not a linear voltage regulator, it's a switching voltage regulator. So it makes it a lot more efficient, and it runs cooler than a linear. And at 13.5 grams of weight, it's a lot lighter than a lot of 12 amp ESCs out there that have a 5 volt 1 amp linear voltage regulator on it. So I've converted quite a lot of these, and they work out very well, especially if you want to put a switching voltage regulator on the size of ESC that normally only has a linear voltage regulator. Usually, from what I've seen, you usually have to get to about a 40 amp ESC on most ESCs before you actually get a switching voltage regulator instead of a linear voltage regulator. So that worked out really, really well. Also, I've got links in the show notes to this specific OPTO ESC and an even better switching voltage regulator that supplies 2 amps at 5 volts. So that would make a good setup for like a 4 servo setup, 2 independent ailerons, elevator rudder. That would work out really well for that. So if you're interested in that, it's dirt cheap, it's tiny, it's lightweight. You do have to solder, of course, soldered up to the OPTO ESC. But there's a link to this specific ESC and a very good switching voltage regulator in there that you could use with it. Keeps everything compact and light. There's also links to the motor, the prop, the Lipos, 5-gram servos, everything that you would need to build this from a kit, and there's a link to the kit in there as well. Fantastic flying airframe. I absolutely love it. On a 4S, it is a rocket ship, and I have posted video in the past. If you look at our playlist for our tips and tutorials, I went over how to convert an OPTO ESC to a non-OPTO ESC. So if you want to search for that, I've already created a video for how to do that. I also put a video together for the Eachine Micro Skyhunter on ordering the kit and putting all the electronics in it that I have. If you want to have an aircraft that performs like this one does, you can fly it on 3S or 4S. On a 3S, you won't complain about power, but on 4S, it's an absolute screamer. So there's links. There's a video in the playlist for the Micro Skyhunter that goes over all the components that I have in it and that I would use to build it from the kit, and also the cost. And last time I checked, I think it was just under $113 to put one of these together. So if you look at the performance of this video of this on a 4S Lipo, at less than $113 total for the kit with all the electronics, I don't think you're going to be able to do it with a plug-in fly. So anyway, I'll see you out the field.
I have my third and final 4S 1050 milliamp hour LiPo in the Micro Skyhunter, and my walkers just came back through. So I think I am free and clear to navigate. I used 50% throttle on the last launch, and I like that. So with a 4S in it, I'm going with a 50% throttle setting for launch. Alright, the wind has died down a bit. Launching. Keep away from the scrub, Tony. Don't plow into the scrub. That was a full throttle run through there. What'd you think of that? It is an absolute screamer now, isn't it? Well, it is a fast little Micro Skyhunter, and it maintained its line very well indeed. Stealth mode. This thing is so darn awesome on 4S. Doing big, huge, wide loops, vertical acceleration from a cruising speed. That is absolutely phenomenal. Huge, wide loops without any effort at all. Is that sweet, or is that sweet? It's up there. So now you guys know that with a 30 amp ESC, and this is just a little lightweight 30 amp ESC. It's a Racerstar OPTO ESC, a 30 amp ESC that I converted by attaching a switching 5 volt voltage regulator to it. So it's very lightweight for a 30 amp ESC. So with a lightweight 30 amp ESC, look at that. Holy crap. And a small 4S LiPo, you've got a Micro Skyhunter rocket on your hands. That is fantastic. And this battery is holding up pretty well. Mixed mode flying, hard in the throttle part of the time, cruising around part of the time, which is the way I like to fly. Look at that. So well behaved. That is absolutely effortless. I'm not going but about 75% throttle when I'm doing that. Absolutely awesome. I love it. Did you see how wide that loop was? You can cover a lot of sky with this aircraft on a 4S Lipo. Absolutely fantastic. I haven't changed my setup from the 3S setup. I'm using the exact same dual rate, expo, control surface movement, same CG that I was using on 3S, and it's still very, very smooth, handles extremely well. I think my timer just went off. Okay, let's do our circuits. Clear that direction. Absolutely fantastic airframe, guys. So in previous videos, I'll put a link to the playlist in the show notes that I'm gliding. In the previous videos, I have given you guys all the information. I'm going around. Glides pretty well, doesn't it? Come back through again. A little too much steam coming in. I'm gliding. See if we can get it down this time. Oh man, that is so hard. But anyway, I've produced other videos where I went through all the components that I've got in this for the SonicModell version of this, which is an EPP kit, and the airframe is just absolutely fantastic, and the EPP airframe should be more durable than this one, which is EPO. So you know, when I get other things done, I think I'm, you know, before they disappear, I think I'm going to order one of those SonicModell kits in case anything ever happens to this one, because it is absolutely one of my best flying aircraft that I have in my inventory. And on 4S, it is an absolute screamer. So look for the link to all the components. I'll have those in the show notes. I'll have a link to the playlist in the show notes. It's a very inexpensive aircraft to build from the kit with these components. I think you would be hard-pressed to find this kind of performance with this good of an airframe for the price that it would cost you to order that kit and put these electronics in it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.